North Red Deer versus South Red Deer. What do you want to know? What do you need to know? Well, I'm here to tell you. Whether you're thinking about moving to Central Alberta in 9 days, 90 days, or 1 year from now, you're going to want to stick around and watch these videos because Jason Walls and myself, Shalane Walls, we are here to give you all the information. We do the research so you don't have to. Let's dive into it. So what does that even mean? North Red Deer, South Red Deer. How is it divided? Is there a red line down the middle of the city? I got you covered. So here in Red Deer, if you're a Red Deerian, and you might want to look up that term because yeah, we do use it sometimes. If you're a Red Deerian, we kind of monitor the north end of the city and the south end of the city by a street that runs east and west called Ross Street. Now, if you're new to my channel, you're gonna wanna go check out our videos because I have done an in-depth video about North End versus South End amenities and how it's divided and all of that good stuff. But in this video in particular, I wanna talk about property values and properties and the kinds of properties that you can buy. So, back to how it's divided. Ross Street goes east and west across the city. So on the south end of the city, we have neighborhoods like Vanier. You might want to get your pen and pencil and write this down. Inglewood, Deer Park, Lonsdale, Laredo. On the north end, we have neighborhoods like Highland Green, Kentwood, Johnstone Park, Glendale, Normando, just to name a few. But if you really want to know what neighborhoods are in the city of Red Deer, don't forget you can look at www.cityofreddeer.ca and you can click on the map and it will show you the whole city, or you can go watch my video where I take you around the city and draw on that little map and show you all of these areas. But for right now, if you're thinking about moving to Central Alberta, whether you're thinking about renting or buying, you're probably gonna wanna know where the best place is to go. You're probably wondering, what can I buy for price per square foot based on different parts of the city? Well, in this video, I'm gonna tell you all of that. The north end of the city and the south end of the city are great places to live. The north end of the city is definitely much older. It's kind of the heart of Red Deer. It's been here the longest. The south end has been building up over the last 20 years. And so if you're looking for that newer neighborhood, if you're looking for, obviously you're gonna have a smaller lot, then that's gonna be the south end. Over here on the north end, you get bigger lots, more mature lots, bigger trees, but you also do get those older homes that you're gonna probably wanna renovate and fix up. So what does that mean for cost? Let's talk about it. So if you want to know specific information about if you're considering a 2-story on the north end and considering a 2-story on the south end, you know what you need to do. You need to click the link below, you need to call Jason or I, text Jason and I, email Jason and I, and we will give you extensive information and data on the exact same properties so you have a specific idea on where those dollar bills are going. But for general purposes and for this video, there is about a 15% price difference on your average sale price of a home in Red Deer, which is right in the mid 400s. So on the south end of Red Deer, on your average houses of a 2-story, a 4-level split, a bungalow, and even some of those multifamily houses, duplexes, townhouses, compared to the exact same houses, which are going to be older over here on the north end of Red Deer, you have about a $70,000 price difference. So you're gonna be at about right around $490 on the south end of the city, and on the north end at the $432 price point. Again, that's roughly 15%. Now, again, if you want those apples to apples, let us know. The north end of the city has great amenities just like the south end of the city. So over here, we have at least 5 schools, maybe even 6. They're popping up faster than I can count them. But we have elementary schools, we have middle schools, we have high schools, and yes, we have Catholic schools, and yes, we have public schools. So again, if you're new to our channel, Jason and I did a very in-depth video on the education system in Red Deer, which if you are moving to Central Alberta, you're gonna find it very helpful in how to navigate the city. Because if you have a specific school in mind for your child, then you need to make sure that the home you're buying is in that area. And again, if you need help with that, Jason and I are here to help you, but you can go on to the Red Deer Public School Board or the Catholic School Board and see which feeder schools belong to which neighborhood. And you can also see the bus routes if your child is able to qualify for the busing system. Now, aside from the education system over here on the north end of Red Deer, it's fantastic. There's also shopping over here. We have the major grocery stores like Save On Foods. We have the independent grocery store. You have Shoppers Drug Mart. You have Mark's Work Warehouse. You have Walmart. And if you're a cowboy and we got Lamley's. There's even a dollar store. So anything that you're looking to shop for, we really do have on both sides of the city. Now, the difference between shopping on the north end of the city as compared to the south end of the city is there's a little bit more boutique-y feel on the south end of the city. So if you're looking for specialty items, or maybe not looking to shop at a box chain, those stores are over on the north end, or on the south end of the city. Now, don't get worried. Driving from the north end to the city is not going to take you all day. In the busiest time of day, rush hour, it's probably going to take you 20 minutes if you hit every red light. So it's not a big deal. But if you're on a strict budget when you're moving to central Alberta and you want to have that bigger home and that bigger lot, your dollar bills are going to go much further on the north end of Red Deer as compared to the south end of the city, which is completely fine. You'll have that extra money to do all those fun activities that Central Alberta has to offer. So some of those fun things that we have to do over here on the north end of the city, we have GH Daw, which is a great facility which has been fully renovated. It has a beautiful pool, skating rink, gym. There's multiple parks around the city, which you can take the park system, the trail system from the north end all the way to the south end. So where you can see I'm going with this video is that it doesn't really matter where you live in Red Deer. The city is fantastic. Does every neighborhood have its ups and its downs? Of course they do. As you can see, where I'm going with this video is that it doesn't really matter where you live in the city of Red Deer. It is a beautiful city. Yes, does it have some of its downfalls and pain points? Of course it does. What city doesn't? And if you're watching YouTube and you're watching TikTok, you're gonna see some of those YouTubers and TikToks that talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of the neighborhoods. But I'm here just to talk to you about the numbers and the amenities that the entire city has to offer. Now, one thing that we do not have on the north end of the city is a hospital. So if you need to be close to the hospital, you're probably going to want to stick over to the south end of the city or the downtown corridor, which again is not going to be a far drive for you. But if you don't have a car and you need to rely on city transit or walking, or that's maybe where you work and you're going to bike and walk, you're going to want to be over onto the south end of the city. So there are some specific niches that will tailor to one end of the city as compared to the other end of the city. But for the most part, it's duplicated. So for instance, we have Boston Pizza on the north end. We have a Boston Pizza on the south end. We have a Walmart on the north end. You got a Walmart on the south end. So just like any major city center, most of your big box chain stores, restaurants are duplicated. And as I mentioned, the dining and the shopping, it does get a little bit specific as you go to the south end of the city or you drop down to the downtown. So again, if you're going from the north end to the south end, you drop down to the downtown and you're going to have all those amenities within 5, 7, 10 minutes. So not to worry. In this video, we're also going to tour you around some of the neighborhoods and show you what the prices are for that specific home. So what a 2-story is going for, what a bungalow is going for, what a 4-level split's going for, versus what it's going for on the south end of the city. And we're also going to show you the amenities, the shopping centers, some of the schools. So you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video so you can decide which end of the city you want to live in.
All right, guys. So just want to touch a bit more on what Shalane was talking about, North Red Deer versus South Red Deer. So I picked 3 properties that we're going to compare. And I'll just kind of go through some of the highlight. I won't take up too much of your time because I know you've got lots on the go. So this first one here is 7 Goodacre Close. So it's in Glendale Park Estates, 4 bedrooms, 4 bath. It's listed at $600,000. And days on the market is 40 days. So right now, 40 days is quite a bit of time on the market. But I just want to show you kind of what you can expect for $600,000 in the north end of Red Deer. So really nice home, built in the early 80s. So this one obviously has had some renovations, some new cabinets, new appliances, paint, so it's more modern. So that kind of gives you a bit of an idea of what to expect in North Red Deer. Yeah, so roughly 217 feet, dollars per square foot. Not that's a big indication, but it is just something that I like to highlight. Your lot size, you are getting a 9,800 square foot lot. So obviously in the early 80s, they were larger lots than they are nowadays, but that kind of gives you an idea of Glendale. And that's one of the north communities. So let's hop into, I'm just going to kind of go back and forth so it kind of gives you an idea. So this one here is in Allen Street in South Red Deer, and it is also built in the late 70s, so it's a little bit older. Again, it's for $500,000. It's 4-bedroom and only 2-bath, but the lot size is 8,200 square feet. So the last one was almost 10,000. So it gives you a bit of an idea this way. It's a 4-level split. Let's just have a quick peek at some of the pictures here. But it's also had some nice renovations, new flooring, new cabinets, countertops, obviously paint, new cabinets in the bedroom, bathroom. And Anders, there is an old Anders and a newer Anders. So this is the old Anders, and it is very well established and really a nice, highly sought after neighborhood. So that gives you the idea of the price for 500 on that one. It's only been on the market for 12 days. So again, in this market, we're seeing properties priced properly are sold within probably 2 to 3 days. Some are even going within 24 hours. So at this time, 12 days on the market is a little bit longer than most, which is a bit of a surprise. But again, a home in the south with a lot of renovations. So let's hop back up to the north end just to kind of do the comparisons. We're looking at some newer homes on this one. So this is a 2009 home. It's in Johnstone Crossing. So this is the very north community within Red Deer. $470,000. It's been on the market for 35 days and 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. But you can see lot size, almost half of what the Glendale one was at 4,000 square feet. So this is more of a starter home for 470, but does have a garage. It's got a 24 by 24 foot garage. But let's just have a look at some of the pictures here. So it's more of a starter style bi-level home, and this is really common. It does have the really nice garage, and you can see back here, this is the north boundary of Red Deer. So you're at the very north end, so that's kind of nice. You don't have neighbors behind you. Again, this one was taking a little bit longer, separate entrance. It's got the oaky feeling from the 2009. So this one's more original, not too many updates on it. So it just gives you an idea of the different styles and stuff like that. It's got lots of the old oak. But again, that's in Johnston Crossing, really nice neighborhood in the north end of Red Deer. So smaller lot, a bit newer home, and again, 470. So here we go. I wanted to compare a little bit older home, but yet this is more in south central Red Deer. It's called Deer Park Village. Really a desirable area on the east side of Red Deer. So this here is a 4-level split again, built in 1992. And you're just about 6,000 square foot lot, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. They've reduced the price to $469. Now this one I wanted to highlight because it's been on the market for 161 days. And I really want to highlight the importance of, if you're thinking of listing, you really have to have the price point correct, because this really is a nice home and it's been on the market for quite some time. It does need some updates and some TLC, but I think at the time it was just priced a little bit too high. It's got some older features like the fluorescent lighting and the wood cabinets. But overall, great floor plan, great neighborhood, and it just needs some work. You can see by some paint. So I just wanted to point out, like if you're handy and you can do some of the work yourself, or you can use some of the trusted trades that Shalane and I can always provide as a reference, we can certainly get you a nicer home for a better price if you want to put a little bit of sweat equity or stuff into it. But that kind of gives you an idea of the older homes in Deer Park. They're always very desirable there as well. So we'll pop down to the very southeast part of Red Deer in Vanier Woods. Vanier is It's about the same age. It's 2007. There's a lot of newer homes in Vanier that have been built since that time. But I want to just give you a highlight of this. It's again 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2007. So it's a bi-level, the starter home package. It does not have a garage. So you'll notice that the price point at $429 without a garage is pretty comparable. If you want to put a garage on it, it's about $50,000. That puts you back up around the $470. But I'll just show you some of the upgrades this property has received. So it's just nice to compare. A lot of people, when they move in from out of province or other areas, they don't really know what part of Red Deer they want to pick. And as Shalana mentioned earlier in the video, it only takes 15 minutes to get from one end of the city to the other. So a lot of people say, well, if I can get a better house or a bigger lot, then I don't really worry about what part of town I'm in. And that's totally fair. And we respect that and we'll work with you within that. And other people say, well, I need a certain catchment for a certain school I want, or I want to make sure, I'm close to my work if I don't have a vehicle and I can just hop on transit or Uber. And so that's totally good too. And so it really just depends on that stuff. This here is the last home I wanted to highlight in Johnston Park. So again, right on the north end of Red Deer, 2004. You get a 4,000 square foot lot. So that's pretty comparable to the other ones that we saw here in Glendale and in Johnstone for 400,000. Been in the market for 11 days. Another bi-level starter package home, but it does have a garage. So here's the garage, guys, a 24 by 26 garage, which is really a nice size garage, and it's for 400. So the one I just showed you in Vanier was 429 with no garage. Same 2 years older, but very similar house size, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Just show you the pictures. So you do get a little bit nicer home in the north because the lot sizes are cheaper. And in this case, you get a garage for less money than you'd pay in the south with no garage. So if you don't want to scrape in the wintertime and you like to have your car in a garage, and if in this case, I believe it's even heated, so you don't have to, you just hop in and go. So it really depends on what everybody's preference is. And Shalane and I, especially if you're moving in from out of province, we'll give you the good and the bad of every area. And that's our job. And we've known this area. Shalane's been doing real estate for almost 20 years. I'm almost 10. So we are born and raised in this area, so we know it very well. And I just wanted to finish off, the last home I wanted to show you is Adamson Avenue. And this is a half duplex. And so there's a lot of multifamily properties in the south, as is in the north. But just for a price comparison, you're paying $365 for a half duplex in Anders. So Anders used to be a really premium neighborhood within Red Deer South, and still is. And so these are always highly sought after properties because they are, you do have a garage. They are typically heated, and it's 20 by 10, so it's a single garage, but you still get 3,000 square foot lot, 2 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. I'll just give you a couple pictures in here, but just kind of gives you a bit of an overview of the size, price point. These properties here don't come up that often. This one obviously needs a little bit of paint and a little bit of love. And I like to point those ones out too, because lots of times you get a little bit better buy, as I mentioned. So as you can see, there is going to be some price differences between the north and the south. And that is one of our jobs, is to make sure that we are asking the right questions when we first meet to find out what you guys are looking for. But I just kind of wanted to highlight this to go along with some of the things that Shalane highlighted. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us anytime.
Okay, so we took you around a little bit of the north and south end of Red Deer of the city. And like I said, if you want to know more information about anything that we've talked about so far, just drop a comment below, call us, email us, text us. You know we'll get back to you just as soon as we can. So I wanted to highlight on a couple more things when talking about the north end versus the south end. What Jason and I would like to do is dive into what you need specifically when you're moving to central Alberta, what you need specifically out of the city in terms of your job. Like, where are you working? Where do you want your kids go to school? What kind of activities do you like? Do you have a car? Are you relying on public transit? Those things all matter. So for instance, if you're thinking about moving to central Alberta and maybe you're thinking Red Deer is going to be your main hub for you, yourself, your family, your loved ones, but maybe you're working in Ponoka, maybe you have to work in Lacombe, maybe you have to even work in Edmonton. Those are things that we'd like to know, because living on the north end of the city is going to be quicker access for you to get to that Highway 2, the Deuce, the Queen Elizabeth Highway, the major highway that runs across Alberta. So that's something to consider. But maybe if you're working in Innisfail, Bowden, Olds, Calgary, the south end might be a better access for you. Either way, like I've talked about in this video, Red Deer's not that big of a city. We have just over 100,000 people, so getting from one end to the other is quite easy. And we do have all those major arteries that I've talked about in some of our other videos. So like the Ross Street that I talked about in this video, gets you from one end of the city to the other. Gates Avenue gets you from one end of the city to the other. Taylor Drive gets you from one end to the city of the other with limited lights, but you can also access the highway from any of these major arteries within our city. So that kind of takes care of that. And I did touch a little bit about if you worked at the hospital and where your ideal location might be. Now we do have some areas that are much closer to the hospital than, say, the south end and the north end as a generic field. Westlake, West Park, living downtown. Now those are only minutes away if you're biking or walking to the hospital. So again, when you are moving to central Alberta and you're thinking about all of these things, Jason and I and our team of experts are here to help you. Like we always say, we do the research so you don't have to. We want to think of the questions that maybe you haven't thought of so that when you move here, everything is seamless for you. All you have to do is dive into that new home and enjoy it. Now, whether you're thinking about buying or renting, that's also something to consider. The rent on the north end of the city is going to be cheaper than the rent on the south end of the city. Why? Why do you ask? Well, because the price of houses are more expensive, so that investor needs to recap their cost, which means their mortgage payment is higher, so they have to inflate the rent cost. Just makes sense, right? Now, if you're an investor thinking of moving to central Alberta or investing in central Alberta, there is some different things that we need to discuss for you as well. What type of renter, what type of ROI, what type of property are you looking for? What type of niche are you looking for? Are you looking for somebody that's working, in the healthcare industry? Are you maybe looking for somebody that works in education? Because you do know we have the Red Deer Polytechnic here. So if that's why you're moving to central Alberta, then there's going to be specific areas that may accommodate you better with that. Again, Red Deer's not that big. You can get to any of our areas and subdivisions quite quickly. But if you don't have a car, then access is limited. And it's based on the city transit schedule and not so much your schedule. And again, living here in central Alberta, our weather is not always the greatest. Sometimes it does get to 40 below. Sometimes we do have gale force winds and hurricane rains. So those are things that you're going to want to consider. So Jason and I want to ask those questions and do that interview with you to help you understand the city and help you navigate your move so that it can be stress-free, worry-free, and you're able to accommodate yourself, your needs of your everyday life. Whether, again, that's the specific school you want your children to go to, whether that is a specific job that you're moving here for. Maybe you have a government job and you need to be downtown, so you want to be central to that. These are just some questions that we like to highlight. Or maybe you're moving here for your kids' sports and you need to be over by the baseball academy. That's another thing that we'd like to talk about. Or maybe your kids are big into hockey and you want to be really close to the arena so that they can take transit or they can hop in with a friend or maybe even walk. Or maybe you're into BMXing and you want to be able to just ride your bike down there. These are all things that we want to talk to you about so that you can make that move and that transition easy. Now, aside from those things, we do have minor things. Do you have an RV that you want to store? Do you have a boat that you want to have stored? Do you need that garage? What is your budget? Let us help you paint a picture of what you can get in central Alberta, specifically in Red Deer for this video, for your budget. So location, your needs, your wants, your wish list, what is going to make your day-to-day seamless and stress-free. Now, I did make a video on this. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe about these specific questions. So there is a questionnaire that you can go on and you can look at with your family and fill out, and then you can reach out to us or keep navigating our YouTube channel and figuring out kind of the areas you want to be in, because maybe Red Deer is not the place for you. But we do talk about the other areas within Central Alberta. But this video is about the North End versus the South End. And I hope that I have answered some of the questions, or even got your wheels spinning in there about some of the questions that maybe you want to ask and find out. But again, don't forget, you can go on to www.cityofreddeer.ca and you can look at the whole city and the map, and it's going to show you where all of the amenities are. And don't forget, I did mention that this city, like other major cities, is duplicated as far as restaurants, shopping, sports facilities, gyms. So I don't want you to focus too much on the fact that you might be thinking you might miss out on something living on the North End versus the South End. The biggest thing that I can tell you about the North End versus the South End is the price in homes, the cost to rent, your ROI on rent, some of the specialty restaurants, and some of the boutique restaurants. There's great schools on both sides of the city. Now you might be wondering, well, what's in the middle of the city? That's a whole other video, and I'm gonna talk to you about that, but you gotta like and subscribe and follow us. Stick around, and we're gonna dive into some of the properties in real time so you can see exactly what a two-story house on the north end of Red Deer versus a two-story house in the south end of Red Deer looks like.